And I think we're good. Hello, everyone. My name is Shrups LP, and welcome to our December the 10th edition of our political recap. I am joined, as always, by the moist one, Omegon. Say hello, Omegon.
I have a dry cough and I think I want to cough now.
Well, that's always good. Appropriate timing, as
Yeah,
always.
yeah. I thought
How
coughing
is
before.
how is Omegon?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I thought coughing before the stream would help. Turns out I lied.
No.
I was wrong.
Hmm.
How's Traps?
Trups is okay. And while I like how you're like, where's Trups? I've been here. I
Yeah,
was here before Mick this time.
yeah. Actually, he was here 15, 20 minutes before. I was just attempting to record a juicy small tits thing, and I didn't get around to it.
Mm.
I'll do it after the
Yes, yes.
stream.
Very juicy and very small tits. Hopefully he gets a fun time in prison.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Don't lie, your name is Whoopsie. Fair. Um,
Scrumptious, actually.
yes, that one also. I have a multitude of names, much like Cthulhu himself. Um, but yeah, so besides the dry cough and the juicy small tits, what you been up to this week? I see
Uh,
you've done a lot of videos.
yeah. Well, a lot of that was done. Um, a, a lot of the ones that are called "Where Are They Now" were done in November. Solely so then I could focus on making additional videos because I thought, why not see what I could do in December? You know, see how far I could push my luck a little bit.
Absolutely.
But I also I also did it because I went to Norwich yesterday to go see Ailstorm, Glory Hammer, and well, it was meant to be Wizard Throne, but instead was Bootyard Bandits. All three are highly entertaining, and
Good.
drank some very rare whiskies while I was at it as well.
Very good. Very good.
What about Traps?
I've been doing nothing. I've had work and I went Christmas shopping this morning.
Oh God, the horror.
Yep. Yes. Yes, especially because I went to the mall. But you know what's funny? This is why I don't go shopping ever. I have a horrible, horrible habit of buying things for me when I go
Oh
shopping.
God, you say that.
And
Yeah, my brother-in-law, he got some money for the gig, and he ended up buying Christmas presents for his kids and his wife. When he was doing that, though, he got stuck because he saw 4 Gremlin models, and he couldn't make up his mind which one he was going to buy for himself. So he bought
Mhm.
two. So he bought two of them after an hour of haggling with himself and arguing with himself. I bought a DeLorean.
So nice. So we have a store in America. It's a I don't know if you guys have it over there, but it's called Box Lunch.
No.
And Box Lunch is essentially it's a meme anime you know common basically it's a popular culture store, right? But they usually have really good products. They're a bit expensive though, which is okay because every $10 that you spend actually gets donated to charity. Like a piece of it goes donated to charity and feeds people. That's the whole purpose of the name Box Lunch.
I'm okay with
But
that.
anyway, yeah, I'm down. But we didn't have one near me until recently, and
Oh.
I went in and I was like, there are so many things I want from here. So I ended up buying myself a collared shirt
So that's
of
pretty
a
cool.
particular
Yeah.
brand.
So I felt a
It
bit
was
bad
fun.
because he obviously had issues with that. But my friend Dave very kindly gave me a bottle of whiskey for Christmas. Well, I bought him a bottle, but it only arrived today when I got home. That's nice. That's convenient.
Mm.
That's good. It means I can't give him his gift yet. That's nice. It does mean that there are 3 bottles of whiskey at the end of my bed here that do look quite scrumptious and unopened. Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I did buy some
Yes,
socks as well
whiskey,
because I'm
good.
excited. I did buy some socks as well because I'm
Mm.
the height of excitement, honestly.
Of course. But I want to tell you one of the greatest things that I bought was actually not from Box Lunch. It was actually from Yankee Candle, and here's why.
Was it vanilla
You ever
cupcake?
No, no, no. It's a very specific smell. So it's called like Mystic Tree Farm. It's one of their Christmas smells.
Okay.
But I smelt it, and immediately, you know how like you get those smells, and just something clicks in your head. Oh yeah, by the way, it's CNN, not NBC. Um, Fire
Did I
equals
acc-
chroma.
did I put the wrong
Mhm.
thing? My
Yep.
apologies. I thought I put CNN because I put it in the hash. Oh no, I put NBC. I am so sorry. Thank you for the correction. I will
Um,
fix that now.
but I smelt it, right? And I was like, I know this smell.
You know, I put NPC. I was looking at the wrong article. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it got stuck in my head.
Um,
What was the smell?
but it's of Christmas trees, right? It's a specifically Christmas tree, and all I could think of was when I was younger, and we would get Christmas trees and bring them into the house, like as a family.
Yeah.
That smell, right? It was just that one, and I
Oh.
remember going year after year, and so my sister and my mother are impossible to buy gifts for. So I bought both of them one of these candles so that they can smell it too, and that emotion and neural link can trigger in their head too, since everyone is across the country doing whatever they're doing.
That sounds very thoughtful, but also slightly weird.
Yeah, well, the fucking smells are crazy, dude. If you ever look into like the psychology of like how smells can trigger memories, it's
No, I get that. Yeah. No, you have a point there actually. But I'd be
nuts.
interested to know how if that actually works on them.
Yeah, I want their opinion of it, like,
You wait.
now, but yeah.
If they have that right and their first response is it's all right, you're going to be really put out.
Mhm. Yeah, I know I will, but that's okay. Um, anyways, but yeah, so that's mainly what I've been up to. Um, yes. So where should we start? We have more American news than we have.
To us, it's been oh, there are a couple of things in the UK.
Okay.
All right. So last year, everyone knows about the lockdowns and restrictions and how none of us could do anything. We couldn't celebrate. We couldn't have parties. We couldn't do
Hmm.
anything. The UK government,
Yeah.
the UK government, unsurprisingly, were hosting parties when they were telling everyone else
Mm,
not to. And understandably, a lot of these pictures came to light. And people had to say, yeah, we actually, yeah. While we were telling you guys you couldn't have Christmas with your loved ones, couldn't go see your loved ones, if they were isolated or on their own or lonely, sorry, but, you got TV, you have to watch that. While we, uh, unsurprisingly, have ourselves a soiree or two. And it kind of got some backlash. And when in the press room, um, I don't know, I can't remember her bloody name, press secretary lady, speaking for the UK
mhm.
government, was asked about this. Instead of giving a good response, she decided to laugh about it.
Huh.
Um, which, people weren't best impressed with this. That she was willing to joke about the fact that she and the rest of her little government cronies, or Boris's cronies, were able to have parties. No, we didn't. And no, we couldn't. So she resigned in tears because she realized, oh, I screwed up here.
Mhm.
This has become a big scandal because it's that thing of one rule for them, other rules for the rest of us, instead of leading by example. Unless it suits them. Um, I haven't actually pulled out a source for that, which really annoys me. But I remember this, and yeah, it's yeah, kind
Really
of
fucked.
kind of blew up a little bit, and people are, understandably, rightfully irritated.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, we had that problem constantly in the United States. Of course, all these people who are making the rules will tell you that you can't do it, but of
Yeah,
course they can. They literally think that they are better than the common person. And that is literally just what they think. And I know that they don't outwardly say that, but at a certain point you have to look at their actions and go, "Yeah, I don't believe you that have my best interests at heart anymore."
yeah. Well, the apparently it's alleged there were 7 parties the Conservatives held during lockdowns, one of which included happening at the Tory head office itself. Um,
Oh, great.
I come on, it's that's not right.
Not only
Um,
that, but like, be better than labor.
it's not that
Be
difficult
better.
either. It's not difficult. So you got a little list here. Here we go. On November the 5th, a 4-week lockdown is imposed in England with all non-essential shops closed and people told to stay at home where possible. On November 13th, the first one, uh, his fiance in the flat above Downing Street. They hosted a party in breach of the guidance. On November the 13th as well, Lee Kane, a departing director of communications, yeah, there was a party as well. November 27th, Cleo Watson, who is a senior Downing Street aide, party. On December 2nd, there was an indoor mixing in London that was banned. Well, this all happened in London, didn't it? Because then on December 10th, Gavin Williamson, the education secretary, had 24 staff at a department cafe. Not had, like, sexually, but, I mean, he could have if he wanted to. He's a stud. On the 14th, who was it? Is it Sean Bailey? Yeah, okay, so the Tory candidate for Mayor of London, Sean Bailey, held a party, where it was held with, at the Conservative campaign head office. On December the 18th, Christmas party at Downing Street. And then obviously a Christmas quiz in the cabinet office.
Now, hold on, real quick question. You said that the conservative mayoral candidate.
Yeah, Sean Bailey.
When is that election?
It already happened, and he only just lost. Like, it was a tight loss as well. Sadiq won a
Mm.
second term, but it's okay. His second term, because he went into his technically. So next mayoral election will be sooner than normal because coronavirus pushed him back a year, which means he stayed in office because he got a second term. He loses a year off his next term. Yeah, annoyingly. Well, I say annoyingly. Sean Bailey was treated the same way as who's that guy who had the person with the gorilla mask behind him? Remember?
Oh, Larry Elder.
Yeah, he's treated like that by people because he's the wrong.
Of course he
So
is.
a lot of people he's considered the wrong kind of black. Which
Oh, is he black too?
he is, yeah, and
Uh,
not like Gorilla Mask, and totally not racist. Ooga booga booga. Let me throw a banana at you type. No, but certainly he's considered a token or the wrong kind of black.
right.
And
Yeah,
so he,
racism.
yeah. So on the 21st of December, there was a stay-at-home order, and these parties still happened. And yeah, so the Conservative Party right now are getting absolutely pilloried for it. Previously, like
Kind
before sort
of,
of
kind of deserved. Not lie.
yeah, they I could laugh off a fair bit of this, but I remember on December 23rd, I think to I went to a wedding that didn't happen, and then when I came home, I got home in the evening and we'd found out that they were going to be doing no travel at all. You know,
Mm.
after the and you couldn't have family over, and I had family in a town 7 or 8 miles away from me, and we rushed over,
Hmm.
got them here, and they spent Christmas here. This house was fully loaded. Okay, can't do that
Mm.
again. But it was a nightmare because we knew we wouldn't be able to spend Christmas together because of this, and we were, that was the way to make sure we could, but otherwise we would not have done it. I mean,
Right.
racists like Justin Trudeau,
A bit like that.
a bit like that. Yeah. I mean, the guy's still got his second term, because people are gullible.
Yeah.
Suckers. Um,
Well, don't let them ever tell you that they're fighting to defend you. Um,
yeah,
oh God, the soft bigotry of expectations thing that I posted. Oh yeah, we'll get to that later, but that just reminded me of that.
yeah. Okay, so Boris has said that he was obviously not very happy about the footage of the parties, but has maintained that these were not parties, and that these allegations are, baseless. But
Are they?
24 people with one person in a department caf. Are you sure about that? How desperate are you to try and not take responsibility here? Admit you're just. It'd be easier if you just said, "Yeah, we screwed up. Sorry about that. Should we move on now?"
Well, especially if he wasn't at any of these parties, he could be like, "I did not know.
Problem is,
This is."
buck stops at him, though, doesn't it?
I mean, to a certain point, there's only
Yeah.
so much of your own people that you can police
Problem.
effectively.
The issue the issue is at the same time is the opposition and any other party that isn't the Conservatives will all say the same thing. The people who hosted this then should just resign. Like, that's not. No. No, they should make a full apology, and I think maybe they should be the one. Maybe they should make some very well obvious apologies to people that couldn't see family and obeyed the rules while they didn't. Perhaps even pay the bill for all those parties, but not claim it as an expense. So good luck with that, mother.
That was one of my thoughts actually. It was, hey, I wonder who foot the bill for that.
It probably was some private backers for the Conservative Party, because
Mm.
they do have a fair few millionaires on side, and I mean some of them are quite rich. But how do you stay rich? You don't spend your money; you spend other people's money.
Mm.
That was one thing that's happened this week that's been quite um, kind of all over the fucking news over here. I would have done a video on it to be honest, but I couldn't be asked.
That's fair.
um, is there anything going on over there beyond Mr. not NBC Cuomo?
Yeah, so there was one thing where mathematics is racist.
I've heard.
And so
The governor of freaking Oregon.
yeah, there you go.
Uh,
That was the soft bigotry of expectations thing that I was going to talk
I
about.
saw it on
Um
Instagram. Sydney Watson twisted a picture of the main curriculum being banned in Oregon.
yeah, I'm trying to find
I've got the picture. I'll send it to you.
yeah, I'm trying to find the article on it.
Yeah. Okay. Give context so people have that.
Okay. So
There pictures in the server, by the way.
in the first situation, we're going to talk about what I mean by the soft bigotry of low expectations. And that's basically the idea that people aren't doing well in certain things. Well, let's lower it and then claim it's because of their status as a minority. That's racist. That's hardcore racist.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, oh, here it is. Oregon governor signs bill ending reading and math proficiency requirements for graduation. I believe it finally went into effect. I think that would be today, because this is actually from August 2021. It looks like it finally went into effect now.
Oh right,
Um,
I never noticed that part because I was on the train. That's why it's a screenshot you see on Instagram.
mhm.
Yeah, I didn't look for that because I was just like, that's too funny. I'm gonna have to find a source when I get home. And then I have to go to work straight away, and so I never got to check it out
Right.
until you mention
So
it.
right. And so this whole thing is very wow. Um it seems to be quite what's it called? Part and parcel for democratic leaders to have this soft bigotry of low expectations. Um and to actually come out and say this. Apparently, this is the USA News, the at Reuters. The headline here from the 10th of August reads: Oregon governor signs bill removing reading, writing, and math requirements for high school kids to help quote students of color. And that's
So
racist.
the only thing I found here is that she's been
Hmm.
caught partying without a mask as the state has pushed a
Hmm.
permanent mask mandate. A
Yep.
permanent mask mandate. Oh god,
Oregon literally is a
totalitarian.
nightmare. It is a I hate to use the nightmare dystopia word because
Well,
it's so used
totalitarian's
all the time.
correct, isn't it?
It is absolutely. And to actually go out and say like, oh, by the way, I see that I'm just going to put things in this person's mouth. I see that the minority community is not doing well. Well, don't worry, we'll remove the expectations for them to do well, and that will help them, right? Well,
Just a quick
no.
question. Quick question then.
Yeah,
You
sure.
are, Trapslop, a member of this community to
I
an
am.
extent. And in the words of Dr. Phil, how does that make you feel?
Yes, I am the minority type. And how does this make me feel? it's funny to hear them say it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but we kind of knew they had that opinion already. Um, so it's not shocking, but it should be. Is basically how I feel about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the, it's honestly hilarious and sad all at the same time. Is really how it makes me feel. Um, But that is one part. Keeping on that same train, though, I do also want to tell you that based on my membership of the minority community, card carrying member of the minority community,
Mm-hmm.
my community in particular has finally been heard on something very important.
Oh.
We don't like to be called Latinx.
What is Latinx, since we were going to talk about culture?
Latinx is white people trying to make a gendered language not a gendered language.
That sounds loca. Loco. One of those two.
It either actually
Yeah.
it can
It
be
can be
either.
either.
In that word in particular, that word can be either. But for a long time, Democrats. I mean, you saw it all throughout the Democratic debates. Cory Booker, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, and plenty of other Democrat politicians went out and talked about the Latinx community. Well, a poll came out, and it turns out that about 65 plus percent, I think the number was actually 68%, prefer to be called Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's another 30% would rather be called like Latino or Latina. And then I think it was 10% was other. Um, and what was really funny about it was 40% say that they would be actually offended if somebody referred to them as Latinx.
Right.
And I think it was like 37% said that they would not support a candidate if they said Latinx. So, finally, everyone has been told this, right? It has come out and the Hispanic community has spoken. And wouldn't you guess, CNN and MSNBC come out and go, yes, it appears the Spanish speaking community doesn't like to be called Latinx. Well, we kind of knew that, and we accept that their situation is that we never actually called them that. And I'm like, what?
That's
What? What?
hang on.
What do you mean? What
Thing
do you
is,
mean?
every time I've seen Latinx, I've been sat there like, what the fuck does that mean? I've seen it so many times.
Hmm.
You can't say you didn't say it. You did.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up CNN damage control Latinx.
If anyone uses
Uh,
Latinx unironically to describe Hispanic community, keep an eye on them because they have nuclear hot takes, which means free content. Thank you.
hmm?
We like free content. The
We
freer the better.
do,
The
we
freer the better.
do.
If it's behind a paywall, don't worry. We'll archive it first, and then we'll do it.
Yes, of course, we usually do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, okay. Here was the article from 2020. It was depending on which corners of the internet you inhabit. You might have come across the term Latinx. Latinx has emerged as an inclusive term to refer to people of Latin American descent, encompassing those who don't identify as male or female.
In my husband's new updated forms for his visa here in the US, he's British, they asked if he wanted to be called he, her, or it. He wrote an SH in front of EX, so now his gender is shit.
Nice.
I approve of this gender.
So is it shit and shits? Or I want to know
I
what
maybe
the
shitty.
yeah, maybe. But
Shite.
yeah, I have what's funny about this though is that there's actually a gender inclusive term that is not used in America but is used in specifically Argentina because they have been pushing this whole gender inclusive thing too, but it actually fits with the idea and it's to replace O or A with an E.
So loco loca goes, it becomes Loki.
Yeah, loke. um,
Okay.
or
Okay.
Latine, or instead. Now,
Okay.
similarly, you have the same kind of backlash where people don't give a shit. Um, Funny story, it actually only matters to people who let it matter to them. I know this is a shocking
They're
realization, but
typically the people always looking
if
for a fight. That's why.
well, yeah, but also if you constantly believe you're offended or oppressed, you're going to look out and view things as oppressive or offensive. You're going to see things as attacks on you as a person, as opposed to just accepting that things be like that sometimes and then carry on with your day.
Hmm.
When the media creates an environment that exalts people who are victims or who can claim oppression or victimhood and puts them on a pedestal, in fact, some cases can actually give you a financial incentive, then of course people are going to find oppression anywhere.
Hmm.
That's just how things be when you allow this kind of thing to perpetuate in a society. It's not going to make the society better as a whole. You're only going to make people hate each other for the purposes of drawing content, drawing drama, drawing what's the word? Spectacle
Hmm.
in your direction. If you can profit off somebody calling you the N word, you're going to do that or you're going to try. If no one ended up calling you that, or you paid somebody to call you that while getting a Subway sandwich at 2 a.m., then maybe that may not go so great.
The N word he's referring to is needy.
Well, definitely that. Um, so before I use that lovely tangent to get into the next American thing,
Mm.
yeah, the Latin community, the Spanish speaking community, they all want to be called, or the majority want to be called Hispanic. So if you say Hispanic, most people will get what the fuck you're talking about, and no one's gonna be outright offended like uh like the white Democrats who thought we were offended on our behalf. So fuck yourself from me, from a Hispanic myself. Any hoozles. Um, yeah. So that tangent that I was mentioning,
Yeah, what's the
uh,
tangent?
we'll gently touch upon it because it's funny. Uh, Juicy small tits that you were mentioning earlier on.
Oh, okay. So for those who don't, I'm going to do a video on this, but I mean, I see no issue talking about it now because it's funny. It's fucking funny.
Yeah. So guilty on 5 out of 6 counts of federal
Yeah,
disorderly conduct. Eh.
we're skipping a few bits here. Firstly, so when the trial started, it was claimed by the defense that, and there were no cameras in the room, no journal, you couldn't prove this happened because it was actually explicitly banned. That the judge lunged at the defense, Mr. Lin,
Mm-hmm.
the judge Lin, I believe his name is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was funny. Juicy Small Tits on the stand admitted to spending a bit of time with the Ostenderos,
Mm-hmm.
getting a little
In the
bit
bathhouses.
happy and yep.
Yep, happy and merry in the bathhouse
uh,
with two buff
Mary's Mary's Mary's
black men. Yeah,
Mary's a very uh it's a very good
you
code
know how you
word.
spell like way. You know how you spell like way. It's not like that one.
Right, right, right. And that was interesting. Um then he was found guilty. Yeah. And interestingly here, so the maximum sentence could be 3 years, but most people all agree here he's going to get probation. And you know
Mm.
it. You know he is. His career in acting is over. He knows it.
Oh no, it's actually it might not be, and that's the worst part.
Well, the defense are going to appeal the decision. That could be interesting. But
Yeah,
I don't know. The only way they're going to try and win this is if they uh, manage to successfully
Con-
argue that Lynn did attack the defense.
There's no way, man. I mean, there was one instance where the prosecutors, or I'm sorry, the Smollett team asked for the court recorder to make a note that upon them objecting, that the judge gave them a nasty look.
Yeah.
I don't think that's legally actionable, but good luck. Um no, it was crazy. And to answer Lisa's question in the chat, is there sentence yet? No, apparently sentencing is in like a month.
Yeah, I will do a video then as well, because honestly,
Mm.
it'll be a very short video of just me laughing, uh, either
Mhm.
because he's got the right sentence, i.e., 3 years, or
I just want to
because he gets a joke sentence, which I think is a joke.
I love this. So I'm reading the MSN.com CBS article about this, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so I'm the first line says former Empire actor fucking Jesse Smollett was convicted on 5 counts Thursday evening on charges he orchestrated a fake hate crime against himself nearly 3 years ago,
Yep.
while jurors acquitted him of one other count. Scrolling down to after, there's a video of Charlie DeMar saying Smollett did not say anything as he left court. It says Smollett, who is black and gay, had told the police he was attacked while he was walking home on
Well,
Lower North Water Street at
we
2 a.m.
we talked about this. He harnessed the whole BLM thing. He
Mhm.
piggybacked off that for clout, fame, notoriety, because he knew it could propel him to a level of stardom if proven
Yes,
true,
absolutely.
and it
Absolutely.
backfired. Even his own
Oh,
cast, he got mocked by Chappelle. He got mocked by everyone.
no, that was the entire point of Chappelle's joke at the time. You remember? He was like, "You notice that black people are being really quiet about this, and here's why.
Eh,
They all know you're lying.
everyone knew he was
They are
lying.
helping
Jesus,
you. They are helping you by not saying anything." And
absolutely
it's
disgusting.
true. In this case, people not saying anything is better than them saying something, because if they say anything, God, you're going to get roasted, because this was one of the worst potential fucking hate crimes that you could have ever pretended to have had happen to you. If you had said one of the three things that happened, like, oh, you got beat up, or hey, somebody jumped you and put a noose around your neck, and then fucked off, or hey, they poured bleach on you and then they fucked off,
Those on their
you
own,
might
yes.
you might have had something. People might have gone, "Oh, that's kind of fucked up," just on the
Mm.
basis of
Yeah,
everything. Like,
yeah.
that's terrible.
Well, he
I
lost it.
want to believe that.
It's when it was implied art white, art MAGA, chud.
Yeah. Well, white MAGA chud who turns into black Nigerian,
Two black
um,
Nigerian men who didn't
two
attack
black
him at all.
Nigerian men who were employed by you.
Yeah, it wasn't an attack. It was a freaking pantomime. Come on, get good, scrub.
Oh my god, and it was,
It
and
was
this was the, I
glorious.
think, the biggest thing, the thing that threw me, right? I was like, I mean, besides it's the polar vortex, it's negative 20, 30 degrees in Chicago at 2 a.m. Besides him getting up to go get a Subway sandwich, I mean, like, hey, I've been drunk and wanted food at 2 a.m. Who the fuck hasn't? Sure, whatever. I
Has
don't
the
judge that
fridge.
part. Yeah, sure. I mean, but like, let's say you wanted a Subway sandwich. He's rich; he can do whatever the fuck he wants. So he goes to get a Subway sandwich. I have no problem with that. It's the part that two people were waiting for you in sub 20-degree weather, um, with bleach and nooses and a MAGA hats, and this was the part that confirmed every suspicion I had at the time. You left the noose on
Oh yeah,
in your house.
so the police cam footage, body cam footage shown with the noose on, and he said he left it on
Yeah,
because he wanted them to see it on him. Now I just want
but
to
he.
you've actually poked a hole at something that not many have talked about, and
Mhm.
it's really silly because I think Crowder has, but that's about it. And it's the point
Mm.
that it was a little bit on the crisp side.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm just gonna say that certain people can't handle certain types of temperatures. For example, white people generally don't do so well in the heat.
Yeah.
And the same the absolute opposite is quite well known for people who are not white,
I have heard this before.
right?
Yes.
And there's a little bit of science to it. So I felt
Sure.
when I remember this coming up and thinking it was one of the most implausible when first of all, you point it out now, and it's such an implausible idea that they were waiting to attack him. They turned on him because he didn't pay them. You know,
Oh yeah.
like I'm
Well,
sorry,
not even that. Like they didn't even like they did everything that they were asked to do.
yeah.
They met him at the intersection. They beat him up, like, and they pulled his punches like he requested. And okay, like, what else did you want?
Maybe that was meant to be for the music video. Um, oh, thank you, Pincalo, for the $2 donation. It wasn't even a knot. I noticed actually, it wasn't a knot at
Oh
all.
yeah, and it also wasn't a noose. It was literally a clothesline. Like
Uh,
they went to like
Hardware
fucking
store, yeah,
CVS
yeah.
and we're just like, oh, that's
If you
vaguely
do
rope like.
a short drop and a sudden stop with that, the guarantee is that thing unthreads and you just end up with a little minor scratch on your neck.
Oh yeah, no, that thing's gonna snap immediately. Like you ain't gonna take you're not gonna take an Epstein nap with that.
You might have a little cough, and that's about it.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be uncomfortable, definitely.
Yeah.
But noose. I'm sorry, nah. Like Bubba Wallace would even look at that and go, yeah, that ain't a noose.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Bubba
And
Wallace, for those who don't remember, was the NASCAR driver who believed that a door pull was a noose.
I Garrett, I assume you're being sarcastic. I don't know much. I don't really eat Subway, so I don't know if they're actually
Yeah.
delicious or not.
It's the most basic edible sandwich you can have.
I remember when it was Jared. Sorry, man. But all
Oh, Blimpies.
the old adverts with Jared, the Subway guy.
Yeah, the kid toucher.
Yeah, is that what you call him?
Yeah, that's one of the words.
Okay. No, what was the thing you said
And,
before?
Blimpies. That's another sub place.
Oh, okay. I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's I don't think it's as popular anymore. It used to be. Well, maybe it's just because I was in the north time. I saw them a lot more around then,
Hmm.
but I haven't seen like any Blimpies outside of like major metro areas.
Right.
I'm more likely to see a Subway or a Quiznos.
I've heard of Quiznos. I've never had Quiznos.
Quiznos is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one I actually quite like. Um but sidetrack. Um yeah, the whole thing with Jesse, like, and then, oh, by the way, he changed his story. It went from white to pale. And allegedly he had said that the Osundiros were, and I quote, black as sin. Which he claims he did not say that because his mother is very dark and she would not have approved. And I was like, yeah,
I'll be
that's
honest.
totally
She's just
why
watched her son be, convicted. Well, found guilty
of
of
lying.
lying in a federal on such a level. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, she'll defend him because mothers do that, but come on, you're wasting all your money on a lie. What is how
Look,
arrogant
she is
are you?
elderly. She is elderly, and I bet you that she's actually more disappointed right now in her son than she would like
Well, it
I'm sure she'll
depends.
still for him, but I think in her mind she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I raised you better than to be a fucking liar.
If
Like,
she,
did I not like hit you with a slipper enough
well,
and you thought that you could lie
two
about this?
things. The first one is if she's as black as people say, she'll be kicking the living shit out of him right now.
Hmm.
Um, there was a second point, and it was when you were talking. I said there's a point to it.
Oh,
Oh,
about his mother being elderly.
yeah, there was another point, and it just slipped my. Because you carried on, I completely forgot it. Don't worry. No,
Ah, fuck.
there was a
Sorry,
point.
I was
No, no,
ranting.
no, 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 it's fine. There was a point, and I've completely forgotten it. All right, carry
Yeah.
on.
Oh, was it the sandwich shop thing?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It
But
has actually
anyway,
gone.
one of the statements. about like the elderly mother is like she brought him into the courtroom and he walked like arm in arm with her. Very MLK across the bridge esque, by the way.
Oh, I remember now.
Okay.
Right. She might believe him. It depends on how much what he believes, like for example BLM and things like that. How much she's involved in that. Because if she's a bit,
Fair point.
if she's a bit more red pilled,
Hmm.
then there's a chance she's looking at him thinking, the slipper. It ain't the slipper. It's a studded belt. I'm gonna hit you with a studded belt around the face.
Hmm. If she is a an immigrant, and I'm going to assume this one, I think she actually is. Um, she is likely to lean more conservatively, just based on trends of older minority communities being a little bit more, you know, accepting of things than the youth of the generation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just commonplace, though. Um, so it's possible that yeah, if she's wrapped up in the same kind of ideology that has corrupted her son, then yeah, maybe she wouldn't be necessarily as upset with him. But I like to
She's born in
imagine that
Louisiana.
is she?
Yeah, I'm looking her up
Was there
now.
somebody else? Was there somebody else? Was his
Mm,
father the one who came from
don't
college
know.
country? I can't remember.
Don't know. Not sure at the moment. I'm doing some digging while we talk.
Yeah.
Oh, Joel died in 2015. That was his father, Joel
Hmm.
Smollett. Um, I don't have any pictures of him yet. I'll carry on looking. Oh no, he's very pale.
Okay.
Um,
But yeah. So anyway, the whole thing with this, I like to.
oh, they both worked for
Oh, he's
Black
born
Civil
in
Rights.
Russia.
They're
He's
both
born in Russia.
they both worked for Black Civil Rights.
Ah.
So I think she was.
But yeah.
I think she'll believe her son.
Okay. Yeah. Apparently, the father was actually born in Russia.
Interesting.
Yeah. Weird. But yeah. So the I don't know if she'll believe him, but as far as it goes, like to say that oh, this person is black as sin, but I didn't say that because my mom is dark is like, well, is that what makes you change how you would say certain things? Because I don't know. I know plenty of people who've done and said stupid shit. Um, whether or not their parents would approve.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that's a good excuse for you. It's like, did you say it? Yes or no? I wouldn't say it because my mom is dark is not the expectation that I was. No, would you say it? No. Okay, good. And then of course, anybody who claims the opposite, well, then it's a he said, she said. But yeah, so we'll see how this goes in the future. We will see how the sentencing goes, and we will see if Mr. Smoulier
Small tits,
gets any. Yeah,
juicy small tits.
yes, juicy small tits. We will see what happens to him, his permanent scar and permanent black eye on appeals. If he does appeal, he might want new lawyers, like the ones that won't get upset if the judge tells them um, you can't object to this.
I mean, yeah. Maybe they should
Don't
send him the
dick.
send him the guy in the Rittenhouse case, the spiky hair.
Oh yeah.
Send him that guy.
Oh, fucking Binger. No, no, no. Send him the defense attorney for Kyle Rittenhouse, the one who said the N word just blatantly in the middle of court with no problem whatsoever. By the way, the prosecutor did read out um, Jesse's tweets,
Oh God.
and they did include the N word, in
Oh
which
no.
Jesse was arguing with the prosecutor, going, "Hey, could you not say that?" He goes, "Yeah, fine, you read it."
See, if that's what he said, that's amazing. I may need proof of that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Server secretary, please find a relevant N-word quote from the prosecution.
Yeah. But yeah, so the situation with that is going to be interesting. I'm going to watch it. We're going to enjoy all of the press, and there are some people to this day that are still behind Jesse because of what it represents.
Oh, BLM. I saw some BLM things about that.
Yeah, BLM as an organization actually posted an article about the case and how he said that what Jussie was doing, even if he lied, was in pursuit of the fight against injustice. You know, the injustice of paying two black men to beat you and then call them white.
Go figure, a group that's fronted by somebody on the FBI's wanted list would be also on the side of other people that commit crimes against themselves and lie about
What?
it.
No, that would be crazy.
Hmm.
What? That would never happen.
Did I say something controversial there? I'm not sure.
I'm not. I don't even know. Fucking, I don't know anything about this FBI wanted list.
Hmm.
BLM is an ideology. It's not even an organization, really. Sorry, that's anti-book.
It's a faith.
Hmm.
Was it cult? I can't remember which.
You could call it that. Okay. So now we get to talk about. Well, do we have any other small? Oh, actually, there was one more thing that I wanted to mention before we get into the CNN Chris
Okay.
Cuomo thing.
You mean the NBC thing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. MSNBC, ABC, CNN. Just
Everyone
you
but
know,
Fox.
Soros shit, Soros shit.
Everyone but Fox.
Um, no, everybody but Russia Today.
Oh god, and GB
um,
News.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So Bill Pascrell is a representative in New Jersey's ninth district. And if you follow me on Twitter, you've already seen this post probably. I By the way, you may find this shocking, but not everybody who I follow on Twitter I support. Sometimes I follow them for the utter insanity. I follow Christopher Titus. He's insane, and he posts a picture from Bill Pascrell that shows President Biden highest job creation for a president ever. And it's an image of the monthly job creation average in the thousands during the entire presidency. And it has all the way from Carter to Biden. Trump has negative 59,000 average. Biden, by leaps and bounds, I mean 588,000 job creations for Biden. For reference, the other Democrats on the list have an average of about 200,000 job monthly job creation.
Oh.
Okay, so this image is so blatantly insane that it hurt. It hurt to look at. It hurt to try and read. And then reading the quote retweets was the greatest thing. But there weren't nearly enough quote retweets that this post deserved because it's quite literally insanity. For reference, I'm going to take this image. I'm going to take this image address and I'm going to post it in the chat so everybody can look at this bullshit.
Please do look at it.
Yeah, so that's in the chat. Y'all can look at that, and I was appalled because negative 59,000 for Donald Trump monthly job creation. So in that time, you had the entirety of the lockdowns of coronavirus. And those lockdowns were then removed. And Biden is claiming ownership of the creation of these jobs that were just the normal jobs. They just happened. Those just existed before, and now they're going back. The actual idea of quote unquote job creation would, in my mind, I know this is not how politics actually reads things, but is the idea of there is a project the government is going to create this project. This requires a certain amount of individuals to pay for it. I am going to hire said individuals so that they can work on this thing that I have created. That is what my brain, since the infrastructure bill has not yet fully gone through, I think it's still sitting in the Senate.
Is it?
Um, I think so. Um, it can't have been creation of jobs. It's just the allowance to go back. And also, notably missing from any of these kinds of these graphs are the true levels of unemployment. So, do you remember October, September to October, one of our shows where I told you it was like 1.4, I think it was 1.4 million people or 4.1 million. One of those numbers. I might be dyslexic right now. Lost their jobs or resigned.
Yes, I remember because so he talked about this and they couldn't claim benefits.
Right. But that also means that they're not unemployed, they resigned.
Right.
You notice those numbers don't ever come up because
Wonder
those aren't
why.
part of the unemployment numbers. They're not part of the unemployment. They resigned, you know, because they didn't want to get a vaccine mandated to them. Well, some of them. Other people were just like, "Nah, I'm old and I'm going to retire." That those people don't get to count for unemployment on either end.
It's
But
interesting. The goalposts
these
have been
things
shifted to make things seem a bit
happen.
better.
I
Who would
know.
do
And
that? I
could you
wonder.
usually the left wing,
Hmm.
usually. And I say usually because it's an international fucking phenomenon. That I've noticed is that
Hmm.
this tends to happen more on the left wing side of things than it ever does on the right. But that might just be because it's been a hot minute since the right has been telling people that D&D is devil worship.
D&D is devil worship, and you all know it.
Yes, unless you play a cleric or a
Agreed.
paladin.
Nah, it's fuck paladins. They're too powerful.
True. Smite is glorious damage.
Smite is just damage.
Yes, it is, and it's beautiful. I play paladins because it's fun. Um, the but yeah, so these things are being reposted by, as you would expect, Democrats, who are like, "Oh my God, look at how good a Biden job is doing." And the Titus comment from earlier is he had reposted this, and that's how I found it. Going, "Why would you ever vote Republican?" And my only potential response to Mr. Titus at this point is the only reason why you would vote Republican is because you operate in the real world. Because if you read that and you say, "Yep, that's real," you might be retarded. Um, if you have more thoughts than just "I see this graph, I agree," then you're probably good because it means the cogs are still turning. Um, so I hope that the individuals whom I just called retarded may go, "That's not very nice," because then I can tell them, do better. They need to do better. This situation is very clear and obvious. The only people who believe this to be actually true are people who don't read, who don't pay attention to the news, and are fed a graphic like this and just believe it outright.
Mm-hmm.
Stop doing that. Please employ some level of thought process.
Critical thought is dead.
Yeah, I know.
So Chris
But yeah.
Cuomo got fired.
Chris Cuomo got fired. Thank God we have a semblance of accountability being shown by CNN of all people. Now, okay, so he was fired because of his involvement with his brother, not the alleged other things that he did. Um, because reasons, I suppose. But that information is still coming out. I don't know if you remember me mentioning it offhandedly last week, but there has been some claims of sexual impropriety and maybe some unwanted touching that he may or may not be guilty of, according
Uh-oh.
to some individuals. Yeah. We're not. These accusations are merely that. So to maintain a certain bit of intellectual integrity, I'm going to say alleged. Mm. However, um, it would not shock me to find out that the person covering for a brother who was doing bad things also did bad things themselves. That would not shock me in the slightest. Um, yes. So we have Chris Cuomo finally being fired. And what do you expect for a individual who has been taken from their decade long position held? Where do you think they go from here? Like, what do you think the next opportunity would be for somebody like Chris Cuomo?
Pornhub.
I hope not. That's that was actually very fast that you thought that.
Yep. I don't know. I have no idea what's next for this guy. He'll probably end up on a lesser network.
Hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone else picked him up.
Mm. So let's see here. I'm trying to see if there's anybody who's planning on picking him up. Apparently, his publisher has canceled the plan to publish his book. He does not do his podcast anymore. Um, let's see. Any more
Mm.
information on the misconduct allegation?
Cuomo lost a
No.
book deal. He also lost his CNN
Yep.
severance.
Yep.
Yeah. Hope you have some savings, bitch. And by the way,
Yep.
just for the
Yep.
sake of
Yep.
it, um, someone might say that by supporting his firing, we support cancel culture. Of course, we don't. We don't support cancel culture in the slightest. It's amusing to watch someone misuse their position and suffer the consequences because of it. Doesn't mean we well, Chups does.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean I support it, but
I don't think
there
it's.
are rules. There are rules here. So it's not cancel culture, which is where you were going to go, and is the point actually. So someone might say it. I know I see it in the comments. Shut up. You're wrong.
Well, here's the thing. It's not cancel culture that I support. I support cosmic justice.
Oh no, I never said you support that. But I know you're against it. I think you might support Cuomo getting fired because he's a twat.
Well, right. Just like I support the Sony VP for getting fired for being an alleged child predator.
Oh, I mean the
Uh,
video, the Sting video that came out.
yes.
Yeah, I saw that. There's actually another
Yeah.
person that for Sony as well.
A lot of people, weirdly
Yeah.
enough.
Wait, they're
In
gonna
fact,
get
there was a
cancelled.
bunch.
They're gonna get cancelled like Blizzard, aren't they?
Yeah, it's always funny. All these, and I keep saying this. It's always really funny. I just keep finding people who profess to be, all for the health and safety of our children
Mm-hmm.
being fucking pedophiles. It's too commonplace. It makes me concerned, and it makes me wonder if we should do background checks on our teachers often. Ah, or I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know because I don't know what the situation is because there was another story that a person was found guilty of or he was reportedly having sex with a student since they were 14 over multiple years, and it was a teacher. And how how do we keep letting this happen?
I don't know.
Like it blows my mind, and I don't know the way to fix this problem, because if I vote for like the idea of let's do background checks, it sounds like authoritarianism, because I'm employing background checks for teachers. But at the same time, there are literal pedophiles getting away with abusing children. Uh, this is the battle of ethics that I often have.
I'm looking at Cuomo's Twitter, right? And he's got two tweets
Okay.
at the top, from the 4th and the 6th. The one from the 4th is a statement. This is how I wanted to end my time at CNN. Interesting to me, I don't usually see a ratio that's as high on the replies. He hasn't been ratioed, he's got more likes. But he's got,
Mhm.
for 38,000 likes, he has 19,000 comments. That's a high rate of return. And I'm scrolling through it, and lots of people in here are saying, "We stand by you, Chris. We'll follow you wherever. Your struggle is our struggle." Bitch, he made 6 million a year. What struggle are you talking about?
Oh, I mean, yeah, yeah. No, yeah. The struggle of the mouthpiece for the Democratic Party, who is getting paid to be high class, is telling you what a shitty life you have as a lower class individual.
Yeah.
I said this like 4 years ago when I started doing content again. It has nothing to do with racism or transphobia or homophobia. Everything that they push when they're driving wedges between people has a fundamental basis in classism, because it's always in media industries, always right or left. It's always people making a fuck ton more than you,
Well,
telling
yes.
you what to be upset about.
While also supporting the whole, but tax the rich. Well, you are the rich, so pay up, motherfucker.
It's always weird that the people who are rich keep saying tax the rich.
They don't mean it.
It's weird. It's weird because Democrats are not the only rich ones. The Republicans all say taxing the rich won't solve the problem. And Democrats are just like, nah, man, let's tax the rich. It makes me wonder for people like Bill Gates, Bezos, and Zuckerberg and all these other people, Dorsey. Um, why do they want to tax the rich so badly? What
Well,
do they
tax.
gain if their taxes are increased? Does that mean they
They
can
they
claim
think
more expenses?
there's that. They think that by proportionately altering it, so it's a better representation of what you're paying into society. That will go towards infrastructure and medical and all these other things that you need. Yes, but
Mhm.
in reality, that's not where the money goes at all, and you know it.
Well,
It really
yes.
doesn't.
As a country that has universal health care, but has also spent multiple videos complaining about the inability of the NHS.
Mm.
You know damn well that giving the government more money does not increase the quality of care.
No, more of it goes into bureaucracy, and we've said this so many times in the past that we could throw as much money. I mean, I will never say ever no defund the NHS. No, no, no. Don't sell it. No, we've got a system. It works. It's always under strain. It's always under stress. It's always understaffed. It's always overworked. You can throw as much money as you want at it, and they can tell you how much money they want. You can give it to them, and then they'll continually say, "We need more." Why? Because they
Right.
don't know what to do with the money. They don't know how to spend it properly. They never have. They've always, and then when
Mhm.
they have to do cuts, too many people die. It's never a balance. There never is, and there's always going to be. It's always going to be one of those. It's always going to be one of those really weird systems. But it's a great system to have. Of course, it is. Helps me. Helps many millions of people. But
Absolutely,
that
it
kind of
does.
system would never work in other countries where it's predominantly owned or run by insurance companies and pharmaceuticals.
Well, I always make the comment here in the US, look at how the VA is handled. And you tell me you want that for everyone. I have had horror stories. Now, granted, these horror stories come from, some of these horror stories are from the VA decades ago, right? But I have heard horror stories, in one in particular, that the inability for the VA to properly diagnose somebody led them to literally lose their eyesight, and then the VA wouldn't even cover their walking stick.
Wait, what?
So they had a issue with as a veteran, something that had to do with headaches and pressure behind their eyes. That they kept going to different doctors and they kept doing tests, but none of them were ever like followed up on. Like they would do the test, they would get the results back and go, not sure. These tests came back as inconclusive of X disease.
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, but I still have an issue. And they were like, I think they had done their own research too, and they're like, I think it's this. And the doctors say, well, we can't base it on just a guess. We have to do the test. And they never did that. And eventually, this person ends up losing their eyesight, and then the VA refused to take responsibility for it and made her buy her own walking stick
Hmm.
because government is shite. Especially when it comes to taking care of people. Um, but these are things that people will push on all the time. And in terms of, I mean, Chris Cuomo, Brian Stelter, Don Lemon, Anderson Cooper, fucking what's the girl's name on
Fuck
MSNBC?
Anderson Cooper. Fuck
Yo,
Anderson
he,
Cooper.
don't say that. He might like it.
I
Who's the crazy bitch on MSNBC?
don't know. Oh,
Russiagate.
I can't remember
I
the
don't know.
names.
Whatever. But you know that person.
Yeah, yeah, I
They're
know.
all here peddling this absolute BS, right? That isn't going to affect them. They have company healthcare. They don't give a shit. They're not the ones who are going to have to then deal with it. It's everybody else who can't afford healthcare, who is like, do I want VA healthcare? And most people in the VA would probably go, I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's basically nothing.
Rachel Maddow?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
crazy.
Okay, just came into my head. Nice. I
Um,
totally did just Google that.
by the way, there's actually another person who might be getting the shaft at CNN.
F.
So during the Smollett trial, it was revealed by Jesse that he received a text from Don Lemon that
Bye.
the police were investigating his claims and didn't believe him. Now, while in this case, it's not nearly as bad as Chris Cuomo actively um, running cover for his brother, it's still bad because you're commenting on an active investigation to the person whom the investigation is about. And that night, apparently, Don Lemon went on to talk about the very issue. So some people have seen that as a reason that Don Lemon should be axed next.
I mean, I'm not against. No. I don't know if he should be axed, but it's definitely a reprimandable thing.
Yeah, I was like, I want to see some kind of you know,
They can't be seen not doing anything with what's happened. It will do them. It will do them absolutely no favors if they aren't seen investigate. I always still like these kind of investigations. There should be 100% transparency as well, so people can see they're not
mhm.
hiding anything or trying to protect people. Because there's always that accusation, and I think if you can have it all laid out for people to see, they can make it. But then when it comes to very biased political outlets, you're gonna, well, most of them are. You're gonna struggle to get that honesty.
Right, and
Maybe have people from the
especially
other side do it.
maybe. But that then leads you into the idea that, of course, they're gonna come back with an anti-you thing
Mm.
because, of course, it's biased. And I don't think that the Republicans can simply all put aside their problems to investigate Don Lemon fairly. Some may, but I don't expect the institution to do that.
Hmm.
And maybe that's just my own skepticism, but I usually expect the worst and am pleasantly surprised when it's not that.
Understandably so, to be honest.
It's a better way to live, I
I
think,
I
personally.
tend to agree.
Um, but yeah, so that's mainly all I had for today. Was there any other topic that you wanted to quickly touch on before we
No,
sign off?
no, no, no.
Okay. Okay. Well, then I am going to ask you, do you have anything to shill?
There'll be videos on this on the main channel tomorrow, and all every day until Christmas.
Okay.
That's it. What about you?
Um not quite yet. It's going to take a bit of effort to do that video that I was telling you about
Mm,
earlier.
yeah.
Um but and it might end up becoming like a two-parter or a three-parter depending on how things go.
Okay.
Um so we'll see. But another important question is uh I ain't going to be here next week. Um and the week that follows is Christmas Eve. Then the week that follows that is the day before New Year's. I'm down with coming back for a show on New Year's Eve if
Okay.
you're available.
I'll be here.
Okay. Then in that case, then we will be able to see everybody back here
Mm-hmm.
on the 31st of December. Um,
I might do PMQ related streams because obviously this channel will be inactive otherwise.
yeah.
So if there's a PMQ this following coming Wednesday, I will do a stream then.
Okay. That
Otherwise,
sounds like a plan.
keeps us going at least, right?
Truly, I think that's fair. Yes. So from me, I will not see you folks for 2 weeks. So have a very Merry Christmas. And I will see you back here on New Year's Eve. Um, and if that's it from you, Meg, say goodnight.
Ta ta.
Ta ta.